ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene. Welcome to ASEAN Daily. Today we are going to talk about trends in Southeast Asia.
Hi, this is Grace. Today, on trends in Southeast Asia will be from Indonesia, and we're looking at the news from cglobe.com. And apparently, I'm looking at this picture where this 2-year-old boy is smoking a cigarette at his family home in Indonesia.
Well, I think it was something that went viral maybe 1 or 2 years ago.
Right.
But he's not an exception. It's actually a news that or the photo actually breaks the reality on what is happening in Indonesia right now. They are on track to become the world's largest tobacco market.
Mm-hmm. Well, will it be a part of the culture already in Indonesia? Because Indonesia is well known for the country to have a lot of plants when it comes to tobacco, even wheat, and around that country. And it is actually no surprising that even small kid, a 2-year-old, can smoke it up in the family backyard.
I mean, when you go to Indonesia, you will realize that a lot of people there smoke. They have the popular kretek cigarettes, a mixture of cloves and tobacco. And in fact, one of their most famous tobacco brand, Gudang Garam, is also quite popular in Malaysia as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have the biggest market for tobacco and a lot of people there smokes.
Just to give more facts about the smoking rate in Indonesia, is according to the WHO World Health Organization, this country has one of the highest male smoking rates in the world, which is at 67%, and the number of women lighting up is rising fast as well, partly due to this role models such as a popular chain smoking fisheries minister who is Sushi Pudijastuti, breaking down the gender norms.
It sounds like a Japanese name.
Exactly, yeah. So because of that, the impact is very huge and also very influential. But with a WHO estimating that smoking claims about 425,000 Indonesian lives each year.
Yeah, young people are picking up the habit, and of course, if you smoke since you are very, very young, the chances of you kicking out that habit is very, very slim.
That's right.
And it's become a real cultural norm. Anywhere you go, you will see someone smoking. And according to Mark Hurley, Indonesia Program Director for the campaign for tobacco-free kids, in the local communities, even small kids are smoking, like we saw from the viral videos.
That's right. And apparently this price for cigarette are very, very cheap there, and it's freely promoted and available on every street and every corner shop. So what Indonesia has to do is to raise taxes on tobacco and make cigarettes even more expensive.
It's definitely a haven for tobacco company for Indonesia. While all over the world, smoking rates are beginning to fall in the global north due to huge scandals surrounding revelations in the 1990s that U.S. tobacco companies not only knew about the harmful effects of smoking but had hidden this information from consumers for years. So I think naturally people were really adamant on pushing for more anti-smoking campaigns, and because of that, a lot of the people just decide maybe they do not want to smoke.
That's right. So the promotion of public health in Indonesia is very, very important, and that they really need to push even harder, especially on the danger of the tobacco against the people's health, which is very significant.
And I mean, when it comes to the tobacco industry, it's really cheap to buy cigarettes in Indonesia. I think one of the measures that the government in Malaysia took, and also in Singapore, is to hike up the price of smoking. So you actually have to be quite loaded with money to actually be able to sustain that habit.
That's right.
Hey, welcome back. This is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
And Daily. So the trend today is to have a lot of money and to put it in the ATM and to withdraw it from the ATM.
Okay.
Well, I'm not really rambling. I'm actually talking about this really interesting startup where they try to make ATM somehow obsolete, as in like if you want cash, you don't need to go to the ATM.
That's interesting. Like you said, the startup is coming from Singapore and it's called SoCash. So it's an app that this is plugged into a mobile app of banks. So if you want to withdraw cash from your bank, all you need to do is place an order on the SoCash within your bank's app and select the merchant near you and pick up the cash. So this particular app will notify the merchant you select the pay and then the fee once the transaction is done. So just step by step.
So what you're saying is pretty complicated. Let me break it down to making it simple. So basically, let's say you don't have any money, but you just need like $50 maybe to buy your nasi campur, and the nearest ATM probably is like 2 kilometer drive away, and you're so lazy to drive all the way there. So what you can do is you can use your app and you can go to the nearest store. Let's say the nearest store is that uncle shop that you always go, and that uncle shop happened to be part of the SoCash appointed merchant store. What you're doing is you're telling the bank that you are withdrawing money from your account without going through the ATM, and the money is going to be taken from the uncle shop that you went.
Money is taken from the uncle shop or money is taken from your bank account?
Both.
Then how are you going to purchase the product?
So the uncle shop is actually trying to give you money that is actually your money because it will be deducted from your account, your bank account. And the great thing is, because the uncle is a participant of, is part of the SoCash merchant store, so the uncle will actually receive some form of commission for giving money to you. Yeah.
So it's basically delivering cash to clients without having ATM.
Yeah.
In the nearest situation.
In any shops that is part of the SoCash selected stores.
So then what will happen to banks? That's my question. I mean, banks will be all collected in the one app, right? And then they can just select whatever the amount that you want to withdraw. Yeah.
It's like online banking, but without ATM and without going to, without anything except that you can actually receive cash.
So
literally cash, money paper.
It's not the cashless system. We still will have the cash in our hands, but it's more like ATM-less system.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming from Singapore. It's a very interesting concept, and I think SoCash is quite becoming popular, but it's just a matter of how we can accept the system and then download it on our phone and be able to use it.
I actually prefer SoCash because, I like the fact that I can touch the money and then buy something rather than, using the ATM card or the credit card. It's actually quite a hassle.
It's very, it can be a very debatable session whether to have a cash or not, because it is true that the hassle of going to ATM and looking for ATM to withdraw the cash, it's a bit of a hassling. But without the ATM, you can just simply go to somewhere or someone who has that SoCash app in your phone. You can just ask for the cash.
Yeah.
So that could be a convenient in that sense.
So I don't know. I feel like I can't wait for this Singapore company to come to Malaysia and do wonders about the ATM.
Sure.
And I think ATM is so expensive and so huge. Banks would love to have ATM-less society. It will save them costs as well. Hey, welcome back. This is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
So on our trends in Southeast Asia, we want to focus on the economic trend in Laos. So there's a slowing down in the Chinese economy, and it may affect tremendously for the Laos economy as well.
Well, some of countries in ASEAN, they have been relying hugely on China's economy, and specifically Laos, I guess they have been relying on China more than the other regions in ASEAN, so which has been described as World Bank as having one of the fastest growing economy in the East Asia and the Pacific region. But this China's slowing down economy will have the rippling effect on Laos.
It's just like when you run, right? I mean, I imagine China as a person who, when they in the start of the race, because of the strength, the muscle and the ability, the stamina, it was able to run really, really fast.
Right.
But once it reaches the maximum level of production, that's where China is having a problem to go to accelerate. So it's still doing well, but it's somehow on a path of becoming more and more stagnant.
Right.
The production and slowing down in the sense that it's not really able to consume more than what it has right now.
So what's happening in China is China has been the leading investor with $6.7 billion in 760 projects from mining to energy, agriculture, banking and trade, as well as construction of commercial properties. That's a lot of areas, and those are the areas that all this region in ASEAN also looking into as well. But the signs of the slowing down in the economy has come in the sort of downturn in the bilateral trade with Laos and China.
Because China is slowing down, it's not consuming as much as what it had in the past. It's also not buying stuff from neighboring countries, and of course, Laos is one of the biggest exporter to China. And in the past and also now, Laos has been exporting on mining, agriculture, especially rubber, while key imports are machinery and electronic equipments. So when China is not buying their products, that's where they are facing a lot of difficulty to make sure that the economy is still running for Laos.
So I can also see that it's sort of a domino effect as well, because China is slowing down and Laos is affected. And I'm sure it's not only Laos, it's been affected by China. I mean, some other countries in ASEAN as well. And according to the World Bank, they also has raised their concerns over slowing China's economy. It may affect some potential investment on pipeline projects that do not have secured financing in this case.
Yeah, there's a lot of really I would say high cost projects that that Laos is doing right now. Of course, one of it is the dams, a couple of dams that Laos want to build, and at the same time also infrastructure projects. And if they are not receiving enough money, they are not able to kickstart or complete these projects. But another thing that also I want to highlight is it's not a dead end for Laos yet. Analysts are saying that Laos need to reduce its dependency on China and focus on diversification.
That's right. So the signs of this success in diversification are starting to emerge apparently. So Laos has in place more than 10 special economic zones throughout the country with 200 registered businesses in different stages of development. So there are still hopes for Laos to progress without relying too much on China.
That's true. So if Laos can focus more on ASEAN integration and ASEAN economic community, maybe I would say that it's not all bad for Laos. It can still somehow continue its infrastructure project, maybe not as easy as when it was relying heavily on China.
So all the best to Laos.
That's all from our ASEAN Daily today. Thank you for tuning into Trian ASEAN. For more updates on Southeast Asia, please go to our website at trianasean.com. If you're on the go, you can always download our TuneIn app on your mobile. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels at Trian ASEAN and Trian ASEAN TV. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram.